That's gonna help. That's gonna help the entire situation. But I equate this because it's the same attitude. It's that same attitude where there's no temperance. Like, you think because you mad that you gotta do something. You gotta do something like that, and inevitably, it's not helping anyone. It's only gonna hurt. It's only gonna make them think that you're more of what they already thought they were.
Yeah, you're giving them even more ammunition because when you kill, the worst thing you can do is shoot a cop, man. That is the worst thing you can do. You can shoot other gangbangers. You can shoot anybody, but the worst person to shoot is a cop because everybody from that point on, I don't care what's going on in person, right? Like the police. Oh, if they can't, because they're already on edge. So you just basically giving them even more ammunition just to act a damn fool.
Nah, they don't know that. They think they proving a point. Think that's what justice is. Nah, you wrong. You wrong. And all you doing, you putting someone else in danger. It ain't even. And I'm not saying it's right if it were the actual guy that killed Michael Brown. But the point I'm making is it's not even that guy. So it's the same attitude that whole F all you white fraternities. It's like, you think you can now put every police officer in that one pot? Just put them all in that one category that they kill black kids. All right, fine. And that's why nothing will change. Like this whole crap that Jason Whitlock is talking about because kids aren't wearing suits when they get arrested anymore, which means they don't have any self-respect. You hold tight to that. I'm going to hold tight to the fact that the generations before us are still I'm not going to say way too hurt. They have a right to be hurt, right? But the fact of the matter is they don't have a right to expect their kids to be hurt as well. Yeah, the kid needs to understand what happened. We all need to be educated as far as what happened in our past. Not just our past as black people, just our past as a country, as people in general. But there's no way that I'm going to walk around with that pain on my heart as though it happened to me. Because it's going to reflect upon the way I see other people. I'm not going to be able to have a healthy... Like this kid, there's no way at this point he can have a healthy relationship with any white person on that campus.
Right.
It's virtually impossible. No matter what their outlook is on life or race relations, he's already told you with his actions and his words that he can't have a healthy relationship with somebody who doesn't look like him in the color of his skin.
But how is he going to play football? But how is he going to play football?
Yeah, we hadn't crossed that road yet, have we? And people can make excuses for anything. They can make allowances for anything. Well, that's different. Really? Is it? How many of your teammates are SAEs? I wonder if he knows that.
I'm sure a handful of them are.
Yeah, I had teammates that were SAEs. Man, you on a white campus. He's in the same situation I was when I was in. I think Oklahoma is like 2 or 3% black. The school I mean, and of that 2 or 3%, probably 80% of the 2 and 3% are athletes. If I compare it to my situation, and the rest are probably local. I mean, some are probably locals, and then some are just kids that got scholarships or whatnot, or other kind of scholarships to the school. But for the majority of them, they're probably in that part of the country. I could see where if it's 2% black, they're mostly athletes. So it's a high probability that even if they're not SAEs at this point, because this man has said F all the white fraternities. So even if they're not SAEs, you put yourself in such a corner with everybody that's of a different color and a part of a fraternity.
Oh, yeah. They see him walk around the campus, everybody going to be whispering like, oh.
Yeah, I'm good. I just think we got to do better, man. We just got to do better, man, in educating instead of just passing down this hurt and this pain. I understand.
Wonder if his girlfriend's white.
I don't know what difference that would make, but all right.
What I'm just saying, like,
even if she was white, she wouldn't be white in a part of a fraternity. She would be white in a part of a sorority. So that would that would exclude her from his rant.
Well, because he definitely didn't say screw the white sorority. So
this is the Sports Kings podcast. I'm Big Mike. He's Rob Calloway. You're listening to this via Spreaker.com. Our social media outlets are Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Sports Kings Live. You can also email the show at any given point in time during your listening to this podcast at sportskingslive@gmail.com. We're going to move away from this right now because this is one of those things that honestly, it's probably a good and a bad thing that we don't have like phone lines and an actual immediate response and reaction right now. It's a good and a bad. I would love to hear the immediate response or get some immediate reaction, but I know within that there'll be a lot of foolery as well. You have to sift through the foolery to get to people who want to have an intelligent conversation about something like this. So, it's twofold. Onto the land of the NBA, the National Basketball Association. That's still going on for at least the next couple of weeks, and we've got a few developments that are going on as far as the stars of the league. Dwight Howard. Oh, yesterday. Did you see the end of that that Houston game?
No. Oh yeah, with Russell Westbrook with the fake foul. That's what you're talking about?
No. That was the Clippers. No, Oklahoma City got their stuff pushed in. No, the end of this Houston game with against Portland. Like, these dudes are intentionally fouling Dame Lillard.
I didn't.
Right? The referees they almost lost the game because the referee was not calling these intentional fouls. You're trying to foul to stop the clock. Give them a couple free throws.
But that's the new thing. What
you mean?
Because we saw that a couple of weeks ago when the Cavs and the and Houston were playing.
Yeah.
When James, at the end of the game, where James Harden wrapped his arm around LeBron, and LeBron is sitting there looking at the ref. James Harden stopped looking at the ref, and the ref just keep playing.
But here's the thing: it shouldn't be the thing because now the NBA a couple weeks ago came out and said that every call within the waning moments of the game will be scrutinized, and a report will come out the next day as far as the stuff that you blew or not. So it seems like they should be more on it than less. I don't know, but it was just it had that college basketball feel that I was talking about earlier. Just that cavalcade of everything bad happening at one time in the game. But inevitably, Dame Lillard and the boys, they pulled it out. They took the lead in the season series over Houston. So if it ever came down to a tiebreaker as far as playoff seeding goes and who's going to win that division, they are definitely they're in the driver's seat as far as that's concerned. Elsewhere, because we'll be in danger of running out of time before I mention this.
Yeah.
The anniversary, the 30-year anniversary of one of the most embarrassing nights in Atlanta Hawks history. The night Larry Bird dropped 60, breaking the Celtics single game record. And you say, well, people get 60 dropped on them all the time. Yeah, they do. But, and if you're listening to this, when you're done, don't stop listening and just do what I'm about to tell you to do. Go to NBA.com or go to YouTube and just pull this game up. Pull the Larry Johnson. That's the wrong dude, and he's the wrong color.
The Larry Johnson.
Larry Bird. 60-point game against the Atlanta Hawks. Pull that up. It's a game that it happened in New Orleans, as a matter of fact. Rob always talks about how, the era when the Hawks were the region's basketball team. This was in that era.
Folks don't realize the Hawks used to play in Louisiana. The Hawks have played in Mississippi. They played in Alabama, Tennessee, Florida, yeah. Okay, keep going. People don't realize that, but go ahead.
Well, this particular night, 30 years ago today, Larry Bird just went in. All these impossible shots were going on, and you wonder why. Okay, Mike, why is that embarrassing? It's embarrassing because when you look at what was happening on the Hawks bench, how they were essentially cheering him on.
They were cheering for Larry Bird.
What?
Larry Bird, yeah.
What? To the point where Mike Fratello fined his players for their behavior for an opponent. I have to put that. I don't know all the embarrassing moments in Hawks history, but I would have to assume that has to be near the top.
Yeah, that's probably it. But you know what?
God Almighty. What?
But even in the league today, if that was a player that was just unconscious like Larry Bird was, they'd be doing the same thing.
No, we've seen it. We've seen Kobe go for 81, and what was happening on that Toronto bench? Everybody had their head down, like they should have had.
Yeah, well, they were embarrassed.
Right, they should have been.
They were embarrassed.
Exactly, exactly what the Hawks should have been doing.
Right. You're right. They did have the towels over their face and all that.
Somebody going ham on you like that? Yeah, stop immediately. Be ashamed, very ashamed. But the Hawks, in true Atlanta Air Force fashion,
said, that was Atlanta's Air Force. That was the Air Force right there.
You know what we'll do? We'll cheer this guy on to whoop our tail. God, good. But yeah, you get a chance. Well, when you're done listening to this podcast, I don't even know what's happening tonight. To be honest with you, it just seems kind of.
But you know
like
what?
We're floating along here.
With that team right there, like, dude, I think Kevin Willis was a rookie that year. And Larry Bird was driving. I mean, he was getting all kind of baskets buckets under the basket.
Falling out of bounds.
Yeah, he was. I mean, he half of the points came from in the paint.
Yes. Oh, God. And that's the other thing, too. I heard Bill Simmons talking about it this morning, and he was so right. Because at this point in time in NBA history, the three-point line wasn't really that big of a weapon. Like I think Larry Bird had like 500 threes for his career. Like, dudes is getting that in a season. So imagine if Larry was like jacking threes that game. He might have scored 100.
Yep.
God help me. I thought that was just so entertaining.
But that was of course, that was that playoff series, that playoff game where Larry Bird went for, 63? I think Dominique went for 45 or something like that.
Yeah, that's when they were just kind of like dueling back and forth.
Yeah. So Larry Bird is lit. He's lit the Hawks up on multiple occasions.
Oh, yes. Yes, he has. What else is going on in the association? Kemba Walker came back yesterday, but, unfortunately for the Charlotte Hornets now. See, I was about to say Bobcats. I caught myself. Charlotte Hornets. Al Jefferson, he's going to miss tonight's game, and who knows, how many more after tonight. Speaking of that game I was talking about earlier, the Trailblazers and the Rockets, Dwight Howard is back doing court work, so he's looking to come back and help his team as they make their playoff push or playoff run when the playoffs starts in about 1 or 2 weeks, as well as Kevin Durant. My man Russ got it. Yeah, they got it pushed in last night, like CP3.
But the play, okay, so the play I asked you, the play I mentioned, right, when I was obviously talking about the wrong game. Dude, now, and I know, I'm not sure if everybody listening to this podcast has seen that play, but essentially, you had a situation where Chris Paul had his hands up, and he was fading away, walking away from Russell Westbrook. This dude shot the ball and flopped, a clear flop, and got the 3-point play, or the three at the free throw line.
Yeah, that kind of stuff don't really, I don't really look at that kind of stuff as I guess as critically as other people do, because a lot of times what the referee sees is the reaction. And then he sees, the rule is, as far as the 3-point shooters are concerned and the jump shooters are concerned, that you have to give them a place to land. So if Russ overly animates his reaction to what just happened, I'm not really that guy to be like, that's a blown call. It's kind of akin to the pass interference call with the NFL. It's like the referees are told to err on the side of cautiousness. To if in any doubt, throw the flag. If there's any doubt, you blow the whistle and call the foul. So to me, I think most people's angst is because of how much flailing Russ did in the air. They was like, oh,
he was already laying down in the air.
Right, they was like, oh God, look at that. But
he was parallel with the ground when he was in the air.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with the referees not blowing that. The problem I had with that Portland game was that, situationally, as a referee, you know what's happening. It's like Houston was down.
They trying to stop the clock.
Right, they're down, and they're beating Damian Lillard's arm up. And to the point where they literally grabbed his arm and pulled his hand away from the basketball and got a steal and a dunk on the other end. It was that obvious. Like in that situation, and even